everyone. Good evening. We're back for another update finally. Sorry it took so long. I just had such a tough week. I was so exhausted by everything and just so emotionally drained, and honestly really shocked by everything that happened, disappointed in a lot of ways by a lot of people. But I wanted to come on and give you guys the update that I promised, because I didn't want to wait too long to let you all know what has transpired since my last little quick update that I gave regarding Statler. First of all, I actually am going to go back to when I first adopted him, because I have the report from when we initially adopted Statler. He was just, I think we had him for maybe 5 or 6 days. And from the day that I picked him up, he had been sneezing. All the way home, he sneezed. And I kind of thought it's a little bit more sneezing than usual, but maybe there's something, pollen in the air or something like that, and he's just reacting to it or whatever. Didn't think a whole lot about it until we got him home, and after a few days, it was quite frequent, and he also had very runny stool on a very regular basis. So we were a little concerned about it, but we just sort of took our time with him and just waited to see. But then he started vomiting, so then it was really starting to become a concern. But again, it wasn't super frequent, so it was like he would throw up and then he'd be fine, and then maybe a day and a half later he would puke, throw up, vomit again. And so anyway, but then on this date that we took him into the emergency vet, he was vomiting, and he still hadn't his diarrhea and things, his gastro troubles still hadn't resolved. So finally he was kind of getting lethargic, and I got really scared. So I bundled him up and called the veterinary teaching hospital here in PEI, the Atlantic Veterinary College, and booked him in. So we brought him in, and they kind of, they did a little testing and stuff, and the vet basically said that he likely just, had some gastroenteritis, and put him on a drug that was kind of like Gravol for us, but for animals. And they actually gave him an IV there at the vet for that, and then she also prescribed us I think it was pills, and then we took him home, and things kind of got better. I can't say it was cleared up completely for quite some time. We put him on probiotics, and I kind of went through the process of sort of ruling out like things that he might be sensitive to. I was asking for help on, as I frequently do when anything happens with one of my cats, help and suggestions regarding his situation. And I was reading that a lot of cats, well, not a lot, but some cats are sensitive to foods that have chicken in them, or they're chicken based and things like that. So I'd read some other experiences where Maine Coon cat owners had switched their cats over to a diet of without chicken in it, and they often gave these cats food called Farmina, NND, and so we decided to try that. We gave him one that had, I don't know, I think it was cod and shrimp and pumpkin and stuff like that. So anyway, very expensive food. We were joking, you know, he eats better than we do. But anyway, it seemed to help along with the probiotics, and we had him on a special food as well, for like soft food, for kind of helping settle his tummy as well. So I think it probably took, like, I'm gonna say probably good 2 to 3 months before things really started to come around and settle down, and we weren't seeing any more of those really runny or soft poops. But I mean, he was a great eater, he was active, he was otherwise pretty healthy, except for the sneezing. Now the sneezing went on for a very long time. We took him back to the vet, our vet, a couple of times for that specific issue, and I also have records for that as well. And they tried him on L-lysine supplement and things like that, and you know, just waited it out a little bit again, but it wasn't stopping, so it was actually getting much worse. And he would have like, this runny nose out one side of his right near, and he would like sneeze multiple times and like have big excretions come out and like stick to the wall and the floor and the anyway. So finally they did put him on an antibiotic for that, so that was good. That pretty much cleared it up for the most part. I would say that issue still continues to this day, although it's nowhere near as bad as it was earlier in his life. It was really, really bad when we first got him, of course. That's the reason why we continue to follow up with the vet, and I actually had to ask her to put him on those antibiotics to help with it, and it really helped, but again, took a really long time. But anyway, going on to say that Statler grew into the most beautiful, perfect boy. He's always been just so affectionate and sweet, and yes, he has also been quite mischievous, and he's very, very playful. We've learned that we had to keep him busy with toys and playing with them, and try to save his big Maine Coon sister from his constant attacks, jumping on her and trying to play with her. But you know, she was really kind of annoyed by him and not having it. So anyway, he did continue that right up until last weekend. Until his leg began giving him trouble and causing him to cry out in pain, and now he's still limping. So anyway, on to say that you know, as I said the other day, the heart does appear to be okay for now. He has a heart murmur, but it's a low-grade heart murmur as of right now. The cardiologist did recommend getting it checked again in a couple of years. And our vet said that they assumed what is called medial luxation of the patella, which is where his kneecap goes into the socket. It has come out, and in luxation of the patella, it will go in and it will go back out, and it's a very painful condition, and it kind of just has to be managed by pain medication and anti-inflammatories for now. He's going to be on those for about 4 weeks, and then we will go back in for another check. Now, they also did a complete blood panel on him, and before they put him on the Medicam that they put him on for the knee pain and inflammation, because it can cause issues if they have any other like underlying issues. So the blood work did come back good. His kidneys are good and everything according to the chemistry that they did in-house. And the vet did call me back yesterday afternoon, excuse me, to give me an update on what was found in the x-ray. And so I don't know all of the medical and technical terminology, so bear with me because I'm actually reading from my laptop the lab notes here. It says that atypical appearance to the left femoral head and neck given the young age of the individual. Want to rule out a previous fracture associated with the femoral head and neck. There is evidence of degenerative joint disease. It may be useful in this individual to consider a frog leg view for further evaluation, and that is, of course, referring to getting more x-rays with the frog leg view. And it says if the clinical signs of lameness persist, could consider FHO left again for further evaluation. So this was done by a tech who reads x-rays all the time for different animals and has many years of experience in this type of thing. So of course, because of her notes, the vet called me back and she explained as best she could to me what it means and what we'd be looking at for a future treatment plan and what we'd be watching for and things of that nature. So she, of course, asked me if he had suffered any other issues with his legs or joints or anything like that previous to this. And of course I said no, he's never exhibited any signs of discomfort. He's never had an injury or anything like that to my knowledge. And he's always really playful and active, and if he had any kind of an injury or fracture, I would have definitely known about it because it would have certainly held him back. And they agreed. And but they said that it could have potentially been something that happened before we adopted him. So there is a potential there that he could have suffered an injury prior to us adopting him. And when I was hearing the veterinarian say this, I was picturing Statler when he was a little kitten and when we first got him home. And when he would walk around the house, his little hind region kind of looks sort of funny, and he kind of walked with a sort of funny looking gait. And my husband was like, he looks like he's kind of walking funny, like he's walking off balance or something like that. I went, is that normal? And I was like, well, I I don't know. I mean, it's a kitten, right? So I really didn't think anything of it at the time, but looking back now, I think that it makes sense that perhaps he had had a previous injury to that region. So anyway, it can be extremely painful, and it also could eventually lead to having to have a surgery that typically has a really, really good outcome afterward. It has really high outcomes after they have it done, and it does affect their walking a little bit. They may not have the full control of their meniscus and ligaments and things around the area after they have it done, but generally they see really good results. Now this is of course only if it really, really bothers him and it really gets to a stage where it really bothers him a lot. So we'll just be keeping an eye on all of these things. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. It's very unfortunate. We will have to go back and get some more x-rays done. It's close to $300 each time we have to have x-rays done, and whatever other tests and medications and things that they recommend. So we will see how it goes, and we'll keep you guys updated and go from there. Again, our hearts are extremely relieved. This week has been one of the most difficult and most emotional weeks I think I have had since my son passed away. That is the truth. That is the truth. It's been a lot, and like I said, I've been really disappointed by those first couple of vets that saw Statler at the emergent care, and also some other things that eventually I'll probably update you guys on, but for right now we're just gonna leave it at this. We're gonna be grateful, so grateful for everyone's support. We're so grateful that he doesn't have a heart condition, that he doesn't that he's into things right now. Actually, he's on the end table and he's sniffing around the cups and things. But really appreciate you guys watching. We're going to continue to do Statler updates and videos really frequently, and maybe we'll get a little following on YouTube for him, just so that we can document his journey and his healing process and his experience with luxating patella and whatever other things that may be going on. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for your support and your love and your prayers and your kindness. And Statler the Wonder Coon thanks you as well. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now.